1800 back in between 75 and 79. And it's sad because my parents wanted to buy one. They just didn't know if they can get jobs here in Sanibel. But if they bought one, and if they could have gotten jobs on Sanibel, and those jobs could have lasted a long time, that's the problem. There's a lot of backstabbing that goes on when you're in the job marketplace. And maybe not now, but there's been periods like in the mid-'80s where everyone was a backstabber. It's almost 10 years. Every 10 years there's just backstabbing going on. So you'll be lucky to spend more than 10 years at a location. People that I work with at the university, some of them have been there 20 years, but the university doesn't pay to a great extent more than the private sector. And I know that well for programming. For programming, they pay about half as much. But there's the problem is when 2018 rolled around, and there was this nonsense going on about COVID that killed the job market just about everywhere, even in Florida. And I was going to be making twice as much working telecommute. And then when the COVID, that baloney happened, all those jobs that I was making good money just evaporated because they were cutting back their staff, and all for naught. Just ended up to be total BS. But that was sad. That was a major impact. And in the last 4 years, really, the economy has not recovered since then. It's still struggling. The only thing about Florida is that everyone's moving here because the economy elsewhere is horrible. I mean, outright horrible. You go some spots. California's economy is, obviously that's pretty good. That's always going to be good there. They may not be given the pay raises that they used to, but there's still a lot of jobs to go around. Washington, yeah, around Vancouver Island, that area, that there's always jobs there. Even they could burn down. In Portland, no, there's not really that much jobs there. In northeast New Jersey, there's a lot of jobs, but a lot of companies are still moving out of that area. The trend has not abated for the last 60 years. New Jersey companies, they may be startups in that area. They may have used the stock market to catapult themselves into the mainstream, but growth, there is no more growth in New Jersey. You just get hit with taxes and fees and other BS that you don't want to contend with. So, go this way? Oh, thank you. So we're having some nice shade by some nice little low-level cumulus clouds, which is most appreciative, I'll tell you right now. Oh man, I'm enjoying this. Yeah. Now we're coming up to this Chevron station. This station is one of the rare bicycle or gasoline stations that offers free air. I mean, how are you going to get, free air? Wow. So on the way back, I may stop here actually and get some air. I'm okay right now. Oh wow, look what's coming on. General contractors. Dumb our wood properties? Something's going on here. Look. Yeah, this property, any of these properties I would love to buy for real estate. Especially this one, Sanibel Captiva Community Bank. I love this bank building here. I don't care if it's wood, it's perfect. This beach box. Oh, I love this place. Even the Dairy Queen, make it into a real estate office. I can live on the second floor right above it. Nice. That'd be sweet. Be a little loud though. Of course, I'm looking for real estate, even some of these places. The Treetop Center. It's not too bad, but if you're just gonna rent a no-name center, you might as well get someplace in the I mean, think about it. Do I really need to get a place in Sanibel if I'm going to be in the backwoods of Sanibel? Doesn't make any sense. I might as well be in the backwoods of Lee County somewhere outside of Sanibel, so I don't even pay the Sanibel City property tax. Now, the idea of getting a spot in Sanibel is so you have a spot right here on either a periwinkle or a sandcap, preferably periwinkle. See, this shopping center looks almost devoid of people. That would be a good place. So what's up here? Oh, this is another rest area it's got a big map of Sanibel on it. It's nice. Hucksters. I love going in there. They have good prices on just about everything inside here. On drinks, on beer, on general store items. It's a good place just to chill out for a little bit. This up here is where, I think we just passed it. That was where the old Scotty's Thursday station was. This used to be called the Jacaranda, now it's called the Tipsy Turtle. Everyone knew it for so many years as the Jacaranda. That's what happens. Now people are going to know it as the Tipsy Turtle. This used to be called Anchorage Inn. They killed the age and now it's just Anchorage. It's all those A-frame construction units. See some Spanish moss hanging from the tree. Every time I accelerate my car, listening to that repair that they did, I put mobile gas in my car this morning, so I'm thinking that's a detergent gasoline. Maybe I need to clean the cylinders out, or no. My car is just definitely not riding the way I would feel comfortably riding it. And that's upsetting too, because if that engine light comes on again, I'm going to be really upset. And I went to a dealership to get the work done too. A very expensive dealership. So it just goes to show you, you don't have to bring your car to a dealership. They're not going to give you the best service. You want to go to the small mechanic who puts his reputation on the line. Because that small mechanic is going to do an excellent job to keep his reputation. Whereas the big wigs here at the dealerships, they don't care really. They didn't care for me. They had my car for 5 days and they did the worst repair. And I was told that my repair was only a 2-hour job at 1/4 the price. And they would have done a lot more for that 1/4 price. So I'm just very upset. It was a Friday morning and I thought places would be open. All the independents, the little guys, were all booked up for a month in advance. And it's only the big dealerships had no cars. I'm wondering, how come they got no cars in here? Well, now I know, because they don't do the service and they charge a lot. And then they're like, after I pick up my car 5 days, they're like apologetic. They're like, if you want to get your money back, you can. I'm like, what? What does that mean? I want my car fixed. I don't want an apology that I ruined one of my weekends and my car's not fixed correctly now. That was horrible. Alright, so here's the shopping plaza that's obviously available. This would be perfect for real estate. Must have been about 40 years ago. This place had gasoline tanks here, and then they took them out. Sanibel Fish House. Wait a minute. This used to be used to be some Tahitian thing. There used to be some kind of crab place. Wow. So places are changing hands here in Sanibel too. See this Seashells.com? This would be great for a real estate office. Royal Shell locations. See, all they really want is the sign. The real estate could be far removed from the road, but the sign on Periwinkle Way, that's important. At this Trader's dinner, they're far removed from the road, but it's actually nice back in there. I wonder how the restaurant is. I've never been into that restaurant. Here's Dixie Beach Boulevard. I think we're gonna try this road, and especially since we got these nice puffy clouds. I like this canopy here too. Alright, so we're gonna check out. We're gonna go all the way to the end. I know that this bicycle path is wide for the most part all the way down. So last time I was on this road, it must have been about 20 years ago. So this is interesting. Now, if you want to buy real estate on a paved road, this area is where you buy it. Anywhere on the right or left. This is some of the best for the money, especially on the right here, these sand roads. I mean, you might be able to get even real estate that's as cheap, like this house right here on the right. It's as cheap as buying a house in Fort Myers. And if you get it here in Sanibel, and then you can rent it out as, you know, wow. If you could turn an old house here into a bed and breakfast and rent it out, that'd be ideal. I don't know if Sanibel will allow that, but you keep it incognito. Just advertising the left. There's a house there on the left. It looks like it's abandoned. It's got an aluminum roof though, so it's got potential. Any home here in Sanibel has to have an aluminum roof because Sanibel, not that it rains more, it actually doesn't. Even in the summertime, it rains a little bit less out here than in inland. But in the summer, you sometimes have a chance of a morning shower, which the inland showers, the inland areas of Lee County don't get. So you might get like between a 6 and 8 o'clock a.m. shower, and all it is just leftover activity, and it just, you know, it just dissipates right over Sanibel. So that's the nice thing about that. So if you have a cistern, you're watering your grass, or you're on well, and you only get your water from either a cistern or a well, then those extra little rain showers are actually good because that allows you to do laundry, allows you to take a shower. It's like a free shower. You don't have to worry about wasting the water because the water will waste anyway. That Albatross Road on the right, that leads into the dunes. So I'm going 11 miles an hour, sweet. 12? Woohoo! See, that's the difference. When I used to bicycle 26-inch tire rims, a normal pedal, just a coasting, not like really racing, but a coasting speed would be 9 to 10 miles an hour. Now, if I'm coasting, it's 11 and 12. So the extra 3 inches, it's the same amount of energy. So it's definitely advantageous to get a bicycle with a 29-inch wheel. The bigger the wheel, the better. You have what's called more rolling force. And the same poundage, 60 pounds in a 26-inch and 60 pounds in a 29-inch, you actually have more air, more air in your tire at the 29-inch because of the way the air could be more dispersed. You have to put more air in it so it could ride at that 60 pounds. You actually have a better ride. It's a little more heavy. The bike's, yeah, it's a little more heavier, but you know, with that extra 5 to 10 pounds of weight in tire size, more than makes up for it. Like when you're coasting, because you have more drive force. You can coast a lot longer. And pedaling is the same amount of energy, and you're traveling just a tad faster. From 9 to 10, you're traveling 11 to 12. So it's at least 2 miles per hour faster. Same amount of energy. All right. Yeah, I like this bicycle. This is what I call my $35 bicycle, because I bought it for $35. It was never my intention to keep it. I wanted to just buy it, and I was going to resell it for $100. This was during the bicycle shortage. I had people come over and want to buy it, but they were lowballing me, and I was abusing it. I was taking it to the beach and hosing it down when I got home. I started enjoying doing that. And then once I started taking videos of the beach, I'm like, you know what? I need a beach bike solely to cruise on the beach. And this bike was like perfect. I mean, I could oil it. The oil lasts for about 2 weeks, and I gotta oil it again. So probably after today, bicycling through all that water, I'm gonna have to oil it. But yeah, I oil the shocks, I oil the seat, oil the chain, brakes, and it's quiet. I oiled the seat too, it was making some noise. That's not making any noise. Alright, so this Dixie Beach is about 1.5 miles long. Well, we got about, let's say, another half mile to the end here. And the canopy, the shadow, is dissipating, which is sad. Sadly dissipating, not bigly, sadly. To the left is Ding Darling National Wildlife Refuge. This is the border that is the farthest south of the Ding Darling Refuge. So there is some property along Tarpon Bay, the mouth of Tarpon Bay, that's private, that's not part of Ding Darling. And it was the intention of Ding Darling to acquire that property over time, but I think that idea has fallen flat because people are not selling it to Ding Darling. Ding Darling thought, well, we're so big, we'll just impose our will, force everybody to sell their property to us, but people are smart. They're selling it. It's desirable property. It's low level though. You could almost with every major high tide. I'm looking at the water in the mangrove on the right hand side, and we only have between 1 foot and 2 feet. I mean, it's pretty high water. 1 or 2 more feet, this road would be flooded, and that it could easily happen during one thunderstorm, one afternoon thunderstorm. It would easily flood this area. That's why the grass is so green, because the grass roots, they may only grow down maybe 8 inches down. They're hitting groundwater at 8 inches. So yeah, even in the wintertime, you're going to get high groundwater like this because this area is so low to the ground. And it's probably these trees that are sucking the water up. Otherwise, this would be part of the Everglades. It's soaked, flooded. I mean, all Southwest Florida is technically part of the Everglades. It's just been built up a little bit, drained. All right. Private property. I see at least 2 home sites here. Easy. We're going straight. These homes were built in the early 80s. They built these properties like 81, 82. So these homes are about 40 years old. I think what the construction was back then. A lot of it was first floor is concrete blocks, second floor is wood, which is sad. But here's a home that was built obviously in the 60s. Alright, coming to the end, we're going to make a left. I know there used to be a whole bunch of spiders over here, spider webs across the road. So I got my glasses, my hat on, so hopefully I won't be. These spiders were big. It used to be the king spiders. Let's see. Yep, it's over the sand road here. This area is always washing out. Always. I don't think the homeowners have to pay for all this construction. The homeowners wanted to build a paved road here, and the city prevented them. So I think because of that prevention, the city of Sanibel or Lee County has got to maintain this road. So they're going to be building a big concrete culvert barricade. The only thing this black thing does is it keeps the alligators from running across the road. Still pretty nice here. It's a one lane though. I don't know if you have two cars going opposite directions. One car is going to have to back up. Still a beautiful view. It's at the edge of Pine Island there. You have Little Shell Island over there. See, Pine Island is straight ahead of it. Yeah, when I was 40 years ago, whatever, I was on this road last, there were big potholes. I mean, literally 2 feet deep potholes that would practically swallow a car. You really had to have a Jeep with extended struts to ride through this road. And that was a bumpy ride. So far, it's not so bad. Look at that groundwater. There you go. And I don't even think it's high tide. I know it hasn't rained, so maybe the tide's going out. Maybe it's coming in. Who knows? Sanibel Captiva Conservation Foundation. Is there? Okay. I see a power light, so I saw a sewer line behind me, so I know there's a sewer line down this road too. So there's private residences on the right. One's an abandoned property and the other one is still active. So, you really want to get away from everyone else. This is definitely the place to go. Yeah, this is nice here. I think a lot of these people were homesteaders. They didn't actually initially buy their land. They got it as a homestead by homesteading. These are like old fishermen that just used to make their livelihoods fishing. They didn't even care about a road. They just took their boat out. This is where they lived. Now look at the place. It used to be little tiny cabins. Oh, I see a trail on the left-hand side. I wonder if that leads anywhere. I'm not going to try it though because rest assured, I'll probably take it. It'll end up at a dead end. I'll have to backtrack. That's just the garage there. It looks like there's a water behind it too. So we're on a little isthmus. We're on a little isthmus. So I know there's water ahead of us as well. There's a lot of mangrove. I don't see any spiders though. See, look, here's an old house. There's a dock there. That's Pine Island Sound there. See, we're going to go a little bit further to see. It's hard to say. It's the bay here. Kind of slow. But yeah, I can definitely see the water now on the left-hand side. It's coming right up to the road almost. It's only about a foot down. I mean, look at these places. These are all wood. I mean, besides the concrete staircase leading up. garage. No trespassing. That would make a great little house. Just kind of scared to put stuff in the garage there. There's a little turnaround. I heard the air conditioning of that house is on. Someone's living there. I think the road comes up to an end pretty soon. Oh yeah, well, that's the pool. The pool is going. That's far removed from the house, so it must go 24/7. I just saw a sign for the power, 220 volts. So there's probably no need for transformers. If they're sending 220 volts, that's what really goes into a house. Oh yeah, here's the end. I don't see any transformers. This guy looks out, he's all the way at the end. See, there's a big, this is a Volvo. Get the air conditioner on that house on too. Right, so now we can try to double time it off here. Let's see if we can make it out of here twice as fast. This road is pretty nice though. There's not that many big shells per se. So, I mean, shells eventually do crush over time, and every car or truck rides out on top of it. But sometimes when a storm develops, it'll wash sand and deposit it on top of the road as well. That helps out. Because the heat, the sunshine also will do an expansion and contraction and break large shells and rocks up. And of course, when cars crunch rock over seashells, the seashells are the ones that break first. That's the calcium chloride. They may have a hardness of 2.5, a little bit harder than your fingernail. And the rocks, they have the hardness of around 5. So a little less than steel. Steel, I think, is 5.5. So they'll crack your steel, but they'll crack the seashells up nice. Right. I'm sorry about the tunneling effect of the Samsung A10 cell phone, but you know, the nice thing about the A10 cell phone is that I can get 3 hours of video. 3 hours of high definition video, and there's no external power supply plugged in. Whereas that GoPro I just got, if I can find a mount for it, I still need to add I need to add an SD video card, which I have to find out which one it takes. It looks like the maximum one it takes is the 32 gig. And 32 gigs, I take 4 gig videos. So that means I can take 8, which means each video is about 30 minutes. So that means I could take 4 hours if I'm lucky. What is it, 4 hours? Yeah, 8 divided by 2, yeah. 4 hours if I'm lucky, so. And probably if I have an external power supply. I have a couple external power supplies. One of them is a car jumper external power, lithium ion. But if I use that for any other purpose, it'll probably give me about 8 hours of supplied power. In fact, I'm thinking about bringing that with me to Vegas, because that would give me the maximum amount of power for videotaping. So I'm thinking about it. Of course, now I'll need to bring a laptop with me to store video. So I'm thinking about bringing a laptop along there too. Yes, and I gotta bring associated cables, the power cable, and to charge it, and the download cable, at least to sync it. Right. Again, there's the Causeway Island straight ahead. So you got a good vantage point there. It's Panorasa, where the big buildings are. Now they got little rocks here. These little rocks aren't doing anything. They got the dredge offshore. Otherwise, this area of Sanibel would have slipped into the water already. Well, it's probably real estate people showing real estate. That'd be smart. And that sounds like a gas golf cart or propane power. Propane power would be the optimal way of doing it. Generate your own propane. Put that in a bottle, save it. Although propane only costs about $14 per those 20-pound propane containers, so it's not too bad. And those could last a full at least day and a half driving. So, not too bad. I'm gonna drive on this side of the road just for the fleeting shadows that I see crossing the road here. Hello. Oh yeah, I am perspiring big time. I would say temperature-wise about 93 out. Could be hotter, but being conservative. Cost of pool chemicals is skyrocketing. When I go out garage selling, I ask people at garage sales selling any pool chemicals like chlorine tablets, and then I always say micro mesh nets because those things are hard to come by and they're expensive. Even online, they're hard to come by. And a lot of people don't realize that micro mesh net, that's the type of net that pulls the suicide micro ants out of the pool. There's a lot of nets out there that are classified as leaf nets that just pull leaves out of the pool, but well, in Florida, especially my house, you need to get the suicidal micro ants that like to plunge into the pool and die. And the mosquitoes, they seem to suicide themselves into the pool. So you need to get the micro mesh. That stuff, no problem. That stuff is so. I have one good one. They usually last about 5 years. That's about the maximum